Welcome to the deep dive. So today we're doing something a little different. We are staging a bit of a rebellion against mass tourism. We're putting down the glossy brochures, tossing out the top 10 lists, and just bypassing any queue that has the words Eiffel Tower in it.
Right.
Our mission is pretty simple. We want to move beyond those standard tourist traps and find genuinely authentic travel experiences. Those incredible aha moments of discovery.
And that's exactly what our sources are preparing us for. This isn't just a list of places to go, it's a methodology.
A how-to.
Exactly. This deep dive is going to give you both a curated list of destinations, the where, and more importantly, a practical toolkit of research strategies, the how-to for uncovering these gems anywhere in the world.
Okay, before we go any further, let's nail down what we even mean by a hidden gem. I keep seeing articles calling some spot that's on every city bus tour a gem.
I know, it's frustrating.
So where's the line?
A hidden gem is really defined by its obscurity, not just its quality. It is absolutely not the Chihuly Gardens in Seattle, which is in every single guidebook, and it's right next to the Space Needle.
Right, it's not exactly hidden.
Not at all. A true hidden gem is a place, or maybe an experience, that takes real effort to find. Something that maybe only locals know about. Think of a tiny, weird museum, or the best family-run bakery down some unmarked alley.
So the rule is if it's on the first page of a generic Google search, it's probably not a gem.
Pretty much.
And we have to start with, well, the tension in this whole discussion, right?
Yeah.
Once we find these places, what's our responsibility to them?
That is such a crucial caveat, and it's something the sources bring up right away. It's the ethics of revealing these places. Over-tourism can, and it does, ruin local habitats. It dilutes the culture.
There was that famous case in Iceland, right?
Yes, the Fjallajökull Canyon. It was a local spot, pretty quiet, until a massive celebrity music video was filmed there.
And then everyone wanted to go.
Instantly. The traffic spike was so intense that the vegetation was just damaged beyond repair. They had to close the canyon entirely. People wanted to walk in the exact footsteps of the celebrity, and the environment just couldn't handle it.
Wow.
So, while local tourism can bring necessary jobs, we have to approach these discoveries with a ton of mindfulness. The goal is to explore off the beaten path, but we have to treat the environment and the local culture with respect.
Discovery comes with responsibility.
Exactly.
Agreed. Okay, let's embrace that responsibility and dive into the practical toolkit. Segment 1, the how-to. I want to know the actionable strategies for finding places before we even book the flight.
And it all starts with smarter searching. The problem isn't a lack of information.
No, it's that everyone sees the same information over and over.
Right. If you just search things to do in X, Google's algorithm is designed to give you the most popular, most trafficked results. To find the unique stuff, you have to get around that.
So the sources talk about advanced searching, using specific modifiers.
Yes. Instead of that broad query, you search hidden gems in X, local spots in X, or secret hiking trails near X. You're signaling to the search engine that you want niche content.
And you can get really specific.
Incredibly granular. One source mentioned a traveler who searched festivals in, plus their destination, plus the month they were visiting, and that's how they found a local gumbo cook-off in rural Louisiana. They were pretty sure they were the only non-resident there.
That's amazing. An event itself can be the hidden gem.
Absolutely.
So once we have those basics down, where do we go for the really raw, unconventional data, beyond a generic Google search?
This is where you leverage niche digital tools. For anything quirky or weird, you start with Atlas Obscura. If you want to find that Polish village where they paint flowers on all the houses, that's your first stop.
Okay, but isn't there a risk there that we're still just following someone else's list? Just a weirder list?
That's a fair point. For the truly raw, unfiltered public opinion, you go to Reddit. It's the antithesis to the glossy blog post. Subreddits for specific cities are just gold mines of discussions between locals and other experienced travelers. The key is, don't just post a question. Search the archives.
So how do you do that effectively without just getting lost?
You filter. Search the subreddit for terms like hidden gems, but then, and this is crucial, filter the results by top posts of all time, and then limit that search to the last year.
So you're getting high-quality, relevant answers
that aren't totally outdated. And using quotation marks around your search terms, like hole in the wall plus city, works really well there too.
That's really practical. Now, what about the tool everyone uses every day, Google Maps? It seems too obvious.
It does, but the sources suggest using it in a totally new way. You use it to wander the globe digitally.
Just Scroll around.
Literally, open the map of your destination, zoom way in, and just start scrolling. Click on some obscure park or a tiny restaurant with only like 10 reviews. If the photos look local and the reviews are in the native language, you've probably found something interesting.
And then you use the Maya Maps feature to save them. But how do you stop that from just becoming a mess of pins?
You have to categorize everything immediately. Don't just make one big list. Create separate layers for, say, hidden food spots, architecture, and nature. That way, when you're there, you can just pull up a theme.
And what about social media? TikTok, Instagram? They get blamed for over-tourism a lot.
They do, but you can harness them for good.
Yeah.
It's all about focusing on the hyper-local. Stop following the big international influencers.
And follow local accounts instead.
Exactly. Search for destination plus hidden gem, but more importantly, look for accounts that post in the native language or use local non-English hashtags. That's how you get the real-time, on-the-ground view.
So that's the digital research. But what about the really unconventional stuff? The things that require total spontaneity?
Oh, absolutely. One of the best strategies is also the simplest. Go to the main train or bus station, look at the departures board, pick a place with a cool name that you've never heard of, and just go.
That's pure old-school adventure. I love that.
It's a day trip, minimal commitment, but it's an unbeatable way to see the untouristed side of a country.
But if we want some local guidance, without being totally random, there are services for that, right?
Yes, you can basically pay for local knowledge. Services like Show Around connect you with private local guides, so it's like having a friend show you their favorite spots. Or you have itinerary services like Elsewhere or Ninook, where local experts build a custom trip for you. They're essentially selling you local access.
And for the activity-based traveler.
You can try geocaching. It's a huge global GPS scavenger hunt. The caches are often hidden in unique outdoor spots you'd just never find on your own. Or there's something called a mystery picnic, where you solve clues to collect items for a gourmet meal from different local vendors.
So whether it's advanced searching or just picking a random town, the key is intentionality. Looking beyond that first obvious result.
Precisely.
Okay, let's pivot from the how to the where. Segment 2, the underrated destinations. The sources say a major secret is finding an overlooked region within an already famous country.
That's such a key insight. You use the existing infrastructure, the easy flights, the cheap buses, and then you just forge your own path inside the country.
Let's start with Mexico. Everyone knows the Yucatan, Oaxaca, and Mexico City. So where's the gem?
Veracruz State. That's on the Gulf Coast. And because the beaches there were never as appealing as the Caribbean side, major international tourism it never really happened.
Which has kept it more authentic.
Delightfully so. It's focused on deep, authentic Mexican culture. The sources rave about the near-deserted El Tajín ruins. Unlike Chichen Itza, which is packed, El Tajín feels like your own private discovery.
What about elsewhere in Mexico?
They also recommend Chiapas State places like San Cristobal and Palenque for a level of cultural authenticity that's just miles beyond what you'd find in Cancun.
That regional nuance is powerful. How does that same idea play out in, say, Indonesia?
Well, Indonesia is massive, right? Over 17,000 islands, and yet over 60% of visitors go only to Bali.
Which is a tiny fraction of the country.
Less than 0.03% of the landmass. So basically, everything outside Bali is overlooked. For easy alternatives, you've got Lombok or Java. But for a real rugged adventure,
Oh, here you go.
you head to Flores or Sulawesi. On those islands, you, the visitor, actually become the subject of curiosity for the locals. It's a completely different dynamic than being another face in the crowd in Bali.
Let's move to South America. Colombia. It's shaken its old reputation, but tourists still tend to stick to Bogota, Medellin, and Cartagena.
Right. But you need to explore the Zona Cafetera, the coffee region. The main town, Salento, is pretty touristy now, but if you go wider, stay in traditional haciendas in smaller towns like Pijao or Finlandia, you find that authentic coffee culture.
What's the real wild card in Colombia?
The Pacific Coast. It's one of the wettest places on Earth, covered in dense rainforest, but it is bursting with unspoiled nature. It's a prime spot for seeing humpback whales, and it's critical for experiencing the unique Afro-Colombian culture there.
Okay, let's look at entire countries that are hidden gems. The sources mention the islands of Cape Verde.
Cape Verde is an incredible island-hopping destination, perfect for escaping a northern hemisphere winter. It's this Atlantic archipelago known for its volcanic landscapes, amazing hiking, especially on the island of Santo Anteo. And it's stable, safe, and just waiting to be explored.
And in Eastern Europe, what about Bulgaria?
A true diamond in the rough.
Yeah.
Even in peak summer, it feels underexplored. It's got Roman, Ottoman, and medieval history all rolled into one gorgeous mountains, and it's still incredibly affordable.
Let's talk about the Caucasus duo, Georgia and Armenia.
Georgia's just a stunning place. The capital, Tbilisi, is wonderfully charming. But the real adventure is hiking in the Caucasus Mountains, where you find these medieval villages with ancient defense towers.
And Armenia as a pairing.
A perfect pairing. Its capital, Yerevan, has a fantastic cafe culture, and its monasteries are just incredible. Many are built directly inside caves or on cliffs. And if you go in July, you have to try and catch the Bardavar Water Festival.
A water festival?
The entire country takes to the streets for a massive, joyous water fight. It's a cultural highlight you'd just never find in a normal guidebook.
That sounds amazing.
Yeah.
Albania is also mentioned as being up and coming.
It is. It was the world's fastest growing destination for a few years, but it's still not crowded like Greece or Italy. Its history as the North Korea of Europe under communism gave it this totally distinct, untouched culture.
And what are the highlights now?
Hiking in the Albanian Alps, exploring old Ottoman towns, and the new Vjosa Wild River National Park, which is becoming a major ecotourism hub.
And the landlocked alternative to Thailand.
Laos. So many seasoned travelers say it feels like Thailand did 20 or 30 years ago. And for adventure, you have to look up the Gibbon experience. You stay in these dizzyingly tall tree huts and zip line through miles of jungle canopy.
Wow, okay, 2 more high adventure spots, Bolivia and Transylvania.
Right. Bolivia is not for the convenience traveler. The logistics can be tough. But if you want high adventure, it is epic. The Uyuni Salt Flats, mountain biking on the Death Road, it's the perfect raw add-on to a Peru trip.
And Transylvania. It's more than just Dracula, I assume.
So much more. It's one of the most beautiful regions in Europe, packed with medieval charm in cities like Braiov and Sighisora, and it has wild nature bears, wolves. It completely challenges all those old preconceptions about Romania.
Okay, before we wrap up, you have to tell me about that island everyone confuses with the Dominican Republic.
Dominica. Not the Dominican Republic. It's one of the least visited places on the planet, probably because it lacks those big white sand beaches.
So what's the draw?
It's incredibly rugged. The roads are tiny, but it's full of natural treasures. Dormant volcanoes, unique birds, dense jungle. One source mentioned finding a tiny family restaurant where the mother had perfected a recipe to make an invasive fish species taste delicious. That's the kind of ingenuity you find there.
So if we connect this all back, the core insight is really about shifting your perspective. Look for the overlooked regions in famous countries and use those unconventional research methods to find the hyperlocal spots.
Exactly. We covered the how-to, the smart search strategies, and the where the underrated destinations. The challenge is just that the discovery process has to be intentional.
Right. We established that finding these gems is absolutely possible. But we also saw how quickly over-tourism can destroy them. That Iceland Canyon is a stark warning. So here's the final thought for you to consider. As a learner who values depth and authenticity, we've shown you how to find the world's treasures. But how will you ensure that the treasures you discover remain protected?
Balancing the economic benefits of tourism with the responsibility of preservation.
That's the true challenge of the 21st century traveler. And it's one that requires immense curiosity and mindfulness. We encourage you to keep pulling on those threads and exploring the unknown.